let's go to our chapter 2, graphs and functions. The first section is 2.1, the coordinate plane. There are three formula that you need to memorize. The first one is Pythagorean theorem is a square plus b square is equal to c square. A and b is the two legs and the c is the hypotenuse side. The next formula is the distance formula is square root of x2 minus x1 quantity square plus y2 minus y1 quantity square. The midpoint formula, the x coordinate, you're gonna add x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and the y coordinate is y1 plus y2 over 2. There are some definitions that I need to review here. The first one is collinear. Collinear means on the same line. For example, I have point P, R, and Q. If you want to know they are collinear, one of the way you can check by find the distance from P to R and R to Q. It should equal to P to Q. Now the triangle, there are different type of triangle. The first one, you have two sides are equal. Some textbook use angle, but I'm going to use the side here. Two sides are equal is called isosceles. None of them are equal is scalene. All sides are equal is equilateral. And right triangle is mean have one of them is 90 degree. So let's look at our example. Identify the triangle PQR. So you have this 3 point here. By identify, I didn't mean graph it and answer the question, right? I want you to use this formula to show me that is what isosceles, scalene, equilateral, or right triangle. So let's look at this one. I'm gonna find the distance. I'm gonna use the distance formula. So from P to Q, P to Q is going to be square root x2 minus x1. So I'm going to call this x2. So 6 minus 3 quantity square plus y2, which is 6 minus 2 quantity square. Right? This is going to be 9. 6 minus 3 is 9. 9 square is 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 square is 9. 9 plus 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 square is 16. So that is square root of 25, which is 5. We're not gonna do plus minus 5 because we're talking about distance here. Let's do the next one. QR is over here. So I'm going to use the formula x2. I'm going to call this x2. So x2 minus 1. So x2, 6 plus 1 square. Plus y2 is 6 minus 5 square. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 square is 49. 49 plus 1, that is square root 50. Obviously, it's not equal to 5. But let's check one more. If all of them are not equal, you're going to have scalene. If 2 of them are equal, then you're going to have isosceles. Or otherwise, you have to check the right triangle using the Pythagorean theorem. So let's try. I have PQ, QR, and then PR. So x2, let's call this x2. So x2 minus become plus x1 square plus y2, which is 2, minus y1. Alright, so I have 4 square. 4 square here is 16. 16 minus 9 minus 9 minus 3, I'm sorry, minus 3 square is 9. So that is square root of 25, which is 5. Now we have two sides are equal, then is isosceles triangle. Alright, let's look at the next example. Find y such that the point 2y is 13 units from -10, 3. You have 2 points here. One is over here, one is over there. And you want it to be 13 units apart. So I'm going to use the distance formula again. Right? So I'm going to have 13 is equal square root of x2 minus x1. So I'm gonna do, I'll call this x2. So x2 plus 10 square plus y2, this one, minus y1. Now, because it's under square root, I'm going to square both sides. So I square the left hand side, I got 169 is equal to, this is 12. So it's no longer in radical. So 12 squared is 144 plus y plus 3 quantity square. I'm going to subtract 144 from both sides. So I left with 525 is equal to y plus 3 quantity square. I'm going to take root both sides. So I'm going to have y plus 3 is equal to plus or minus square root 25. Now the point can be plus or minus. That's why I put plus minus here. So y would be -3 plus or minus 5. So y would be -8, or y would equal to 2. There are two of them. Alright, let's look at the next section. Hi, let's go to our next section, 2.2 graph and equations. So let's look at definition first. Symmetry with respect to y-axis. So the theorem said that if you have every x coordinate and y coordinate on the graph, then you're going to have negative x and y on the graph. Let's look at this parabola. If you look at this parabola, the vertex is here, axis of symmetry is y. So if you pick any point, I pick these two particular points. This point is xy, then you're going to always have negative xy on the other side of the y-axis. Alright, so that is symmetry with respect to y-axis. Now, if it's symmetry with respect axis, look at this parabola open to the right. Axis of symmetry is x. I pick a point here, xy. I also can find x -5 on the other side of x-axis. So if you have xy, you also have x -y. The next one, symmetry with respect to the origin. So it said that if you have xy on the graph, then the -x, -5, y also on the graph. Look at this circle. The radius is 2. I make a circle. So let's say if I pick a point here, xy, you always can find -x and -5 through the origin, which is here. Alright, so this is the definition. Now, how would you show that in a mathematical way? So if I want to show that y to the fifth equal to x to the third is symmetry with respect to the origin, I'm going to replace all the y by -y and all the x by -x and show that is the same as the original one. So let's do that. So I'm going to have -y to the fifth minus -x to the cube. Right? Because it's raised to the odd exponent, so I'm going to have equal to -y to the fifth equal -x to the cube. Now I'm going to multiply every term by -1. If I multiply everything by -1, I have y to the fifth is equal to x to the cube. So it's symmetry, which is the original one. So it's a symmetry with respect to the origin. Yes, I just show it. The next one, find the center and the radius of each circle. So let's remind ourselves how is the formula of the circle look like is x minus h quantity square plus y minus k quantity square equal to r square. That's the original standard form of the circle. It doesn't look anything like that. So I'm gonna make it look like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna group some x with the x, y with the x, and move the 15 to the other side. So I'm gonna have x squared plus 2y minus 2y, and then plus y squared. What am I doing? I'm group the x and the y. The x square minus 4x, y square minus 2y, and then I add 15 to both sides. Alright, next step, I'm going to make it complete square. I'm going to take the coefficient of this, divide by 2, and then square it. So it's going to be plus 4 over 2 quantity square. If I do that here, I have to do the same on the other side, which is plus 4 over 2 quantity square. I'm gonna force it to be complete square. Same thing, I have 2 here. I'm gonna divide by 2. It doesn't matter, it's minus, alright, because you're gonna end up squared. Just take the number. So I'm going to add to both sides. I'm going to go to my shortcut here. There are 2 here. So I'm going to have x, right? Minus, it's telling me it's going to be minus. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So I'm going to have 2 square. Plus, I have 2y here. So 1. It's going to be minus. 2 over 2 is 1. Quantity square. Then I have on the right hand side 15 plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4 plus 1. Alright, so now I have x minus 2 quantity square plus y minus 1 quantity square equal 20. So center is HK, so my center is 2, 1, and my radius is square root of 20. Alright, let's see more next section. Alright, let's look at our next section, 2.3 lines. A lot of this is from intermediate algebra. So let's go over some of this. The equation of the line is y equal mx plus b. M is the slope and B is the y-intercept. So this is called slope y-intercept form. The other one is y minus y1 equal mx minus x1. This is you have 2 points and a slope. So this is called point slope form. The next one, this is the equation for slope, m equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If you have 2 points, you want to call the first point x1, y1, or the first point x2, y2, it doesn't really matter, but be consistent. Now, if you have a horizontal line, you're going to have equation y equal to some number, and the slope will be 0. If you have a vertical line, you're going to have equation x equal to some number, and the slope is undefined. 2 parallel lines will have the same slope. 2 perpendicular lines, if you multiply the slope, you're going to have -1, or the slope of one is negative reciprocal of the other one. If the slope here or here is positive, you know that the graph will going up, rising. If it's negative, it's going to be falling. Alright, so let's look at more example here. So all this, they want you to find equation of the line. The first one, they're giving you slope and y-intercept. That means the P. And y-intercept. So I think the first equation will be best because I have slope and y-intercept already. So it's going to be y equal to negative 2/3 minus 4. So that's equation of the line. The next one is asked you to graph or giving a perpendicular. They want you to find equation of the line that perpendicular to y, a line y equal to negative 4 and passing to negative 3 and 5, negative 5. So let's say if you not quite understand, you might want to draw a picture. I have x and y coordinate here. Y equal to negative 4. Negative 4 is over here. So this is negative 4. So when you have a graph y equal to negative 4, you're going to have a horizontal line like this. Right? And you want is perpendicular to this line and go through negative 3 and 5. Negative 5. So 1, 2, 3. This is negative 3. Negative 5 is somewhere here. So this is negative 5. So perpendicular. So you're going to have a vertical line. This one, x equal negative 3. That's the equation, the line that they're looking for. Because it has to perpendicular to this one and go through this point. So it's going to be x equal negative 3. Okay? So let's look at the next one. Given the x-intercept is 4 and y-intercept is 3, find the equation of the line. Let's do this. X-intercept is mean we cross the x and y equal to 0. So x-intercept, I'm going to have 4, 0. We cross the x at 4 and the y would be 0. And y-intercept is mean it cross the y and the x is going to be 3. Of course, x is going to be 0, y is going to be 3, y-intercept. So equation of a line, I need to find slope. I can use either one, but I need to find slope. Either one, I need the slope. So slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's call this y2. So 3 minus 0, x2, so 0 minus 4, 3 minus 0, 0 minus 4. So it's negative 3, no, 3 over negative 4, negative 3 over 4. That's the slope. I can use this point slope form, but why should I do that? I already have y-intercept, so this will be easier. Alright, so it's going to be y equal slope is negative 3 over 4. What is my y-intercept? Plus 3. Alright, let's see the next section. Bye.